If it's the actual project, people themselves speaking in their own words, then it kind of bypasses that. So anyways, yeah, just thought it was a good idea. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I totally agree with that point of having the founders, like the team, speak for themselves, because then they're never going to reject the content, right? Because if it's literally a clip of them saying words, they're not going to be like, "Oh, you didn't say that right." So that also cuts out a lot of our editing time, right? We want to give them content that they like, and let's give them the content that we know that they like instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. So I definitely agree with that.
And what?
Also, with a 1 hour interview or whatever it is, like 45 minutes, doesn't really matter. You can make so many short clips based off that they'll have enough Twitter material for months. And really, a lot of these projects, they just need content. They need something to get eyeballs and impressions in Twitter or whatever social media they're using. So they just need something quality. It doesn't have to be something innovative every single tweet or something super new. As long as it's something that's relevant, that would just keep people's eyes on the project so people are aware of their existence.
Sorry, guys, I'm late. I'm here now, though.
So we were just bashing your video, Caesar. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a piece of junk anyways. I'll delete it as soon as I leave here.
Okay, no, we were just saying in short that Red from Complified did an interview with Gabriel, and so I've just been chopping that up. So instead of us analyzing projects like Complify or whatever and saying our kind of own opinions about it, if you have the actual project founders say in their own words what the project is and what it does and all that, as Gabriel was saying just a minute ago, it's like it takes out a lot of editing and fears of or worries about it being rejected and have to rework it because they're the ones who said it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get this. That makes sense to me, especially for the kind of content that they're looking for because they've paid for it, right? It might come off as sometimes as a little biased, but I think you're right. Like, it makes sense to me to have them basically describing everything, and it's on them to make sure that they've explained everything. Like, I had a much easier time doing the video for Basket DAO because I actually had a conversation with the what's his name, Tundra, OX Tundra, whereas with with Red, I sent him a couple of DMs and then he didn't answer me anymore because he's in another time zone, and I was like, oh, I gotta do this and I'm not getting an answer, so I'll just do what I think, and I just kind of beat around the bush on that one point about the LPs because I didn't get an answer easy enough. But yeah, if they've laid out everything in an interview and we're able to chop it down into pieces, I get what your point. Like, you guys are basically talking about that most recent post that Gabriel put up, right? About genome, right?
Yeah, I mean, genome is the. I want to approach genome with this content structure. So even if you asking the devs is amazing, and that's probably the best way to get the information. But Caesar, if you were okay, let me listen to this interview, and then it's gonna be so much easier for you to go into an app and just do a tutorial because you already know the main points, how to say it, because you're just gonna basically listen to what they said and then just put your own spin on it, which is probably the best way. Again, we don't need to make anything up here. All the information is out there. We just need to convey it, right?
One of the things I would suggest to do this is that this is kind of giving you homework then, Gabriel, if you're going to be doing the interview, is that make sure that they do cover every aspect. Like, maybe you can use the table of contents from the docs to make sure that they hit each point and not skip over anything that's not really they're not going to skip anything that's super important, but they might gloss over something. But I totally agree. Even when I read the document pages and mediums, I tend to select them and Google read it to me. I follow along, but I'm listening. So yeah, listening to like a full-fledged interview where someone's describing their protocol with prompts for clarity. That's ideal in my opinion. That if I could probably listen to one of your interviews and then just produce a video like straight from that without even having to go into the docs. I think it's gold.
Yeah, what
Wow, that's a really good idea, dude.
one
Listening to.
like what we're saying about this pillar content kind of thing, and then like how we're saying like having that piece like come directly from the client and having it be like live. So because like something that, you know, if you're taking it from like the docs or an interview from like 3 months ago, like a lot of stuff can change. But if the first piece that we do always is like an interview or a fireside chat or something where we can just suck every little last piece of information and questions like out of the client, then basically we're going to save ourselves like a shitload of potential problems. You know, and we're going to have like the authoritative source, and we're going to have like all the information we need that's accurate or close to accurate. You know, maybe we then give the client a chance to just maybe go over the transcript and just update anything that maybe they fucked up. You know what I mean? And then like from there, we've got like our source like content that we can pull everything from, like having it be live and fresh, like, and up to date, like, yeah, it would solve a lot of,
I think what we can do is, I like the idea, first of all. There are two options, what I think. One could be Twitter Spaces, where like 3-4 of us come and like, because all of us have different way of thinking, right? So all of us will be asking different questions, or an initial Zoom meeting, just questioning the team and recording that, and that becomes like a piece of content. And again, right, 2-3 of us posting it instead of just one person. And then whoever wants to do an interview, just a video that can go ahead after that. This is my opinion.
I like this idea. Slightly different though. Like there's having Gabriel do his interviews. He's pretty streamlined. He's definitely proficient at it. He knows what he's doing. And you know, he might miss a point here or he might miss a point there because, you know, like you said, he thinks differently than us. He's not going to be asking about like stuff that, you know, Kowloon wants to know about, right? So there's definitely going to be that kind of issue, right? But a fireside chat can kind of be like very long, you know, like 2.5 hours, 3 hours easily, right? So that's not ideal either. We want to make it as concise and small as possible so that all the content creators can read it. So we did set up a room down here that's called the interview room, and this is a stage-based room where like we can put Gabriel up on the stage with the product person, whoever's from the protocol. Then when it's all finished, he can chop the rest of this off and we can then do our questioning afterwards. And, you know, maybe not, you know, all 16, 17, 20 of us in there, but at least a few other minds in there that can like, you know, shine light in some of the places that were confusing for those people, right? And then we have that as our private content. And, you know, Gabriel still has his interview, because we want to make it as we wouldn't want to make Gabriel have to do another interview just to produce his interview videos, because his interview videos are good and that's what people will go to his channel to hear. So we might as well do that at the same time as doing this like research collection phase, and just let him do his thing. And then when he's like, okay, at the very end, Thank you so much. Now we're going to swing over to questions, and then we can go through our questions. Just make sure you write down a few questions as you're listening. Don't interrupt Gabriel, and just let him get his video done.
I think that we should just do both, right? And I don't think we should do it at the same time. For me personally, when I'm doing an interview, like I need to be very focused, and like knowing that I have other people. For me, I need to be one-on-one. Like if I have to cater to other people, like try to manage people while I'm doing the interview, for me personally, it's going to be very difficult. What I do think we should do is I can just do the interview, but then on a separate day, like a week or 2 weeks later, we can just very easily organize a Twitter space, and that's another piece of content. And we can again, for the first 2 weeks, we can work off my interview, and then for the second 2 weeks, we can work off that Twitter spaces, right? So there's no reason that we have to do everything all at once, but that's fantastic. I mean, if someone also, like I can be in charge of the interview, but someone can also be in charge of the Twitter space, like someone who's like, really likes that, dedicated to that, starts honing their craft at that. I mean, that's fantastic because that's a great offering for our client. They all need that kind of live conversation as well. So, I mean, let's just do both,
Yeah, I'll handle the Twitter spaces unless someone else wants to do it as well.
Well, I think the Twitter space should be like a kind of a committee, like a small group of people. But yeah, we do need definitely someone who's scheduling, who's running moderation and so forth. I agree with that. Yeah, like I'm just trying to be efficient. If Gabriel thinks it's like inconvenient to do it this other way, then yeah, we do it. We let him do his thing his way. If he's, we don't want to put him on a stage in front of an entire audience. If he doesn't want to be up there, he wants to make it more one-on-one, then yeah, we'll just let him do his way. But I do like the idea of just having his interview to listen to, and then we just build from that. I think that's gold.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Caesar, you have something?
Yeah, I was gonna. If there's nothing else about that, let's move on to some other issues.
Do you have any? You have any topics?
I've got some notes.
What were we
here.
talking about yesterday, Dunks?
I've got a few notes here. I'll just kind of scroll through them and see if anything's like really. Oh,
I've got something here. Let me go.
Okay.
There was this. We had this discussion. I think it was this morning with B, Dunks, and I can't remember who else was in there. And we were talking about new creators. Like this Discord channel is kind of closed off to new people who come in, and I think that's good, right? We don't want new people coming in and then just chatting in all the rooms and like flooding everything. So we have you have to be considered the role of creator in order to see any of the channels that have a brick beside them, right? We will assign them this creator. So we were brainstorming ways to create creators. Like instead of having someone just come and say, hey, I heard about this, I want to be a creator, and boom, you're a creator, done. We were trying to think of ways to get around this. And one of the ideas I came up with was like a mentorship. Someone comes in, they want to be a creator, then someone who's already a creator can assign him some work, or like, oh, I know you, I've brought you here. I want you to be a creator because I know you can do Twitter threads or whatever you can do, right? So I'm going to give you a job. I'm going to help you to build one piece of content. And then once they've built a piece of content, then they've proven themselves to be creator material, because we got to try to avoid the idea of like compensating people just because they're in this Discord with us. And it definitely has to be people who are contributing in some way or another. It doesn't have to be content creation. Like what Dunks has done is more valuable than what almost anybody's done. So he definitely does need, compensation for that when we get to that point where we're trying to decide what to do with compensation. So the idea is how to help new creators become creators. And we should try to brainstorm this idea and develop a system that's quite straightforward, quite easy. They come in, they read this, they understand, they find a mentor, or somebody decides to mentor them, or whatever, or some other idea, whatever you guys can think of. This was just the idea I came up when we were brainstorming.
we definitely need a system for onboarding new creators. I mean, this is something that's going to be key. It's gonna allow us to grow. If we don't have a good system for getting new people involved, then it's going to be difficult to keep this up, right? So I don't know what the best way to approach it is, but definitely just writing documentation about how it works, just from top to bottom, how to contribute content, how to submit content, and then also eventually we need to get to the coordinate like distribution phase, which we're not at yet, but also we need to be very explanatory about how that works, because that's everyone's first question, how do I get paid? So we need to be very clear about all that. I think the first step is just really just writing everything down in a document, and that will help with the onboarding process. For the mentorships, the thing is, I don't think we necessarily need to spend time like teaching people how to make content just yet. I think that there's enough people who already know, the basics that those are the people we want to attract,
I wasn't really so much talking about like actually showing them how to make a video or explaining them what to talk about, but just giving them a job. There's like that one artist, I don't know if he's here right now. His name's Lem, and he keeps like asking, oh, I want to do some work, but he's the type of person who needs to be told, make this thing, you know what I mean? And then he will make it. And this is kind of like what I'm talking about by mentorship. It could be simply like, oh, you're here. Listen, you've just come in. I'm going to ask you to, do a video or do a Twitter thread on this product. Here's your documentation, or here's a video you can watch to understand it. See what you make. And then if they produce it, then we know they're creators. Like, then they're not just like somebody who's here in the Telegram who I don't even know who they are and if they've done anything, you know what I mean? It's just a way to filter that these people are actually willing and able to do something and not just here and like, oh, I want to be a creator, and then they just kind of hide under the table,
I'd like to offer to help with that orientation phase, and I'd be willing to set up some kind of like office hours, kind of just like be the receptionist in that capacity.
All right, Flamin', what's your name on here? Trident Derivative. I know you as the flame emoji on Twitter, but
Okay, real.
what I'm saying, if you want to take action on that, I think that the first step is to create a doc, like just explaining the DAO to a creator, meaning like, imagine that you have never been, a part of this DAO before. So just explain the process, because just explaining how to create content, where you can contribute, how you get paid, that is gonna take, that's like most of the work in my opinion. And of course, if you want to hold office hours, like for, newbies just getting involved, that would be fantastic as well.
You can kind of go, I've got the one post at the top of, it's not polished, it's not perfect, but it kind of has an outline in the channel, new creators start here. There's a post there that you can use as a kind of guideline, but you just clean it up and make it a little more systematic and flow a little bit better, not so jumping around. But I just, because I wrote it when I have some time, and I just kind of throw things in every once in a while. But I think this is what he's talking about, like kind of just having an idea of like, what is creator? How do you become a creator? And why would you want to be a creator? Basically, I think that's enough. And then like, oh, how can you produce content? Like where can you find the content to produce? Like, I don't know, like maybe we can reorganize the Discord, this Discord to allow some content to be seen by the public. But I don't know, I kind of like it the way it is now, because it's kind of like you don't have anybody inside looking around. It's only people chatting who are actually contributing, but it kind of alienates new people the way it is right now. one of the things that both Gabrielle and I talked about when I first brought this idea was that like we want this to be a DAO in the sense that like he and I are not the boss. Dunks is not the boss. No one's going to tell you what to do. If you see a problem that can be solved with your skill set, then just do it. And you will as long as you do it publicly enough that it's not like you're doing it all secret, hidden, and nobody knows you're doing it. Then eventually you should be compensated for this because that's the idea. Like I don't know if you guys know, most of you know how Coordinate works, but it's just to give you a quick summary is like basically everybody gets 100 points and they can give their points to anyone who they think has done something valuable for this DAO. So it doesn't matter what it has to be. It's not like, oh, he produced a video, he gets 6 points. No. It's just like, I know Gabriel did this. I know, Dunks did that. I know this guy did that. I know she translated this. I'm going to give my points however I feel. And that's kind of the way it kind of, the ideal of it is that like, hopefully everybody who did something, somebody knows they did it and they will be compensated for doing so. And to make it like a DAO, so you don't have to feel like, oh, I got to ask, Gabriel if I can have a job at his creator DAO. It's not like it just, we want it to be more like, because that's how we scale. Like, Gabrielle and me and Dunks, we can't be everywhere and we can't tell everybody what to do. So hopefully it'll just scale to the point where, everybody can just choose something and they want to do. They want to make videos about this protocol. They want to research this protocol and produce a few content on this one. Then that's what they can do. And that's kind of the vision that I had when I first came up with this. And I think Gabrielle shares it to some extent as well.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey,
Go ahead.
do you guys want to? We could come back to this stuff, but there's also this thing about the treasury that maybe we could like briefly talk about a little bit as well. Like,
yeah, there's a couple issues with the treasury right now, and that is like right now we're currently holding ETH, but ETH has dumped. And I don't think it's a good time to sell it for USDC. But in the future, if we do get ETH, or let's say for some reason a protocol says, let me send you, instead of sending you 10K, we're going to send you 12K of our governance token. Then we have to make a decision what to do with this token. There's the idea also of us using some sort of yield-bearing tokens for the treasury instead of not using a yield-bearing token. Instead of holding USDC, maybe we hold Yearn, YV USDC, or even the new product that Basket DAO is coming out, and that will give us like invested interest in Basket DAO, the BMI token. So there's all of these little discussions that we kind of have to hit on. And I did a poll in, where is it? Does anybody know where it is? Treasury Talk. In Treasury Talk at the top. And it says like, hey, do you want us to invest in interest-bearing tokens or just stay in stables? And we got the vote 4-6, but I voted on both of them just so that the emojis would be there. So we actually got 3 and 5. And there's, how many creators are us right now? There's like, 9 of us here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13. There's 13 of us. So this is kind of we got to kind of come up with a way to vote for stuff that actually gets voted on so that we can make decisions as a DAO instead of just having like, our multi-sig just deciding what to do with the treasury. We have to try to figure out some way to get around this issue of not having the votes happen. You know what I mean? Did you have something to add to this, Dunks, about the treasury? I think.
Yeah, I think the treasury is something we definitely need to work on. I'm not so concerned about the voting right now because we're pretty small and we're just we can't vote on every single decision. I mean, we'll be public about everything, but like not everyone is as involved to make that type of decision, on a regular basis. As far as specifically stables versus interest-bearing tokens, I really think we should just keep for now. Let's just go through a few cycles of distributing the cash, and then we'll figure out later. I think the bigger issue is how we're going to do the distributions and how much the DAO is going to take as a fee. When I initially sketched this out, I had it so that there was different buckets, like 3,000 for video, 3,000 for articles, 2,500 graphics, and then the DAO take 10%. Now, there's a couple issues. First of all, nobody like agreed or disagreed with me on this. Like, just kind of what I made up. It doesn't have to be this way. But also, how do we assign different pieces of content to different types? Like, for example, Passive Crypto, he made a video meme. Is that in the graphics category or is that in the video category? Because obviously, Caesar, you made a video, and that's on YouTube. That's quite clearly a video. But is Passive Crypto competing with you for some of the budget, or is he going on the, So this is, I think, going to be a big issue because we're going to have a lot of submissions. And if people are like, oh, this other type of submission is getting a lot more than me, even though it's the same amount of work, that could be a problem. So here we have two issues. One is like the budget for each type of content, and second, we have the issue of how much does the DAO take as a fee.
I've been thinking about this a little bit. I don't know, you guys can hear me, right? Yeah. And we were kind of wondering as well, like, say for this month, like, say in about 2 weeks, Complify, the month is kind of finished and probably all of the content's done. Like, some people there'll be some people who will be like, yeah, we really want to get paid. But maybe there's some people who are like, you know what, we could just like leave it in the treasury, decide how much value I could take out, but I'm not actually going to take it out. We're just going to leave it in the treasury and kind of like let it grow that way. Like, can everyone give like a feedback on that?
Yeah, I've got an idea on this. I think that would only make sense if we had it some sort of interest bearing. If it's just sitting there as stables, we might as well hand it all out and then set aside some if we choose to do a DAO fund. And but what is the DAO fund going to do anyways? Like, the DAO fund would be great if we had a token and we needed to buy it back, or to have some sort of like budget for expenses. But we're not paying for anything. Like, there's no, I don't see right now a need for the DAO, and I don't see a need for, like, if anybody says, oh, I would rather leave my money in the treasury to grow, it's not going to grow. It's just going to sit there. So we might as well distribute it, or just leave it, keep it all and hoard it all for like when the token does come and we airdrop everybody tokens based on like, past work, and then buy a whole bunch of tokens back, like some sort of like strange, like, tokenomics scheme. But like, I think for like what Gabriel makes, like, it's only, like, it might sound like a lot, like $30,000 is in there right now, but there's quite a few of us. And, when we divide it all up, it's not really that much. I don't think, at this point, I think he's like, Gabriel's right in the sense that we would do it a few times, and then when we start to really get the flow, and because paying people gives them a lot more encouragement than saying, oh, you know what, your money is now growing in the fund. If I actually hand you cash, then next month you're gonna be like, yeah, this is great, I'm gonna keep going. And I agree that we should probably hand most of it, if not all of it, out. And I don't see a use for a DAO fund right now, but I do think a DAO fund is important and useful, but I can't see any use for it right now. Is there something you had in mind? Like, how would the DAO fund be used? What would it be used for?
Well, first of all, I think we definitely need to pay people like right away. If someone voluntarily wants to opt out, I think Mark from Numio said he doesn't want to receive compensation. Obviously, that's fine, but we need to assume that everyone that has made content is going to get paid at the end of because that's the agreement that the DAO came in to the creators. As far as the DAO fund, I think it is very necessary. We do have a lot of expenses. For example, Dunks has been working very hard on all sorts of different things, and none of it falls under content, and he needs to be paid for that, right? So part of the fund needs to go to administrative tasks. Additionally, like there's all sorts of costs that we can, boosting the Discord server, different. I think Dunks even bought some subscriptions to some things on his own account. So there's definitely a lot of costs that we're going to be having. And as a DAO, we're actually not taking that much. I mean, 15%, not that much money. And also like for myself, like I'm not asking for any money, but like in the future, like in general, a person who does the work that I'm doing gets compensated. Like, sales calls, business development, organizational structure, like that's something in general that should be compensated. Right now, I recognize I'm definitely not going to be compensated for that, but that is something that we need to, as a DAO, allocate funds for in the future, right?
I agree with this completely, but in my mind, it was like I had fully planned to say yes. Dunks is just as much a creator as I am. Like, yeah, I've created content, I've produced videos and memes and stuff, and Gabriel has made phone calls, and those phone calls are just as valuable to the community. So that's why I was like, in my mind, it was kind of like you're just one of us that deserve a piece of the pie. Like, but I do understand that a separate, like in bookkeeping, there needs to be like sections, like it's not just like, oh, we've got $100, like who should get $5? Oh, Johnny gets $5. Like it would be way easier if it was like Johnny's in the video department. The video department has $2,500, and let's let the video department decide how to divvy that up. That might be actually easier. And then yes, I agree completely. A DAO fund is obviously like I didn't even think about it, and you're right. Like Doug's, I believe he paid a subscription for the website, for the domain name. Like there's absolutely no reason why that should come out of his pocket. It has to be paid for from the fund, right? So yeah, I see it. Yeah,
I think that also like because it's not just like it's one thing where like content creators are creating content, people are doing work and they want to get paid, and that's totally like that's what we're doing this for. But also we're building towards having a token too at some point. And so like the work that's getting done now, it's almost like you probably are going to get paid more for it than just what you're getting paid, because like let's say everyone here has contributed like whatever they've contributed, right? And we're going to keep track of all of that. So then when the token comes, like I assume that everyone's going to get, like we haven't designed the system, so we don't know, but probably everyone's also going to get some tokens, like on top of getting paid. So we could talk about that a wee bit, maybe. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I think the token conversation is something that we need to wait on. Like, just like as a creator, right? Let's say in, 2-3 months, we have 10 clients, each paying $10K. We're bringing in $100,000 a month, right? So I'm a creator. Let's say, forget, my other roles within the DAO, but let's say I'm just coming in as a creator. And I'm like, okay, this DAO has a budget of 100,000. I can make 10 videos and I can get paid, $500 to $1,000 per video that I made, right? So for $500, 10 videos, that's 5K, right? So that's a lot of money for me. As a creator, that's a lot of money. I can make a full-time living off of that. So forget, like, for the token, I think maybe we probably will have a token. But I really want to just build out that structure that makes sense for everyone to participate without that additional benefit in the future. Again, like, I would be super happy if this DAO was just existed and I was like, okay, there's 10 projects that need videos, boom, boom, boom. I spend 1 day, 2 days making 10 different videos and get paid like a significant amount of money without me having to hassle about, like, closing deals or, questioning the team for 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like, for me, that's the ideal situation. And I think that would help a lot of creator space.
Yeah, I agree with this completely. Like, just getting paid just for producing a video, it makes a huge difference. And like the token, I agree that I would love to have a token, and I think it's great because there's so much upside potential and other cool things we can do with it. But if it's just like if we just get 10 clients and they're going to give us 100K a month together, and we were able to divvy that up between the people who can do what they know how to do, it's great. And there's also like another huge factor that we kind of don't utilize so much, and that is our like collective reach. And that is like if somebody produces a video or a content here and we all spread it, then we're paying him money for his content, and then we're also spreading his audience. We're also giving him more viewers. Like maybe if I retweet someone's video and maybe 2 of my followers now follow him as well, then that's value that he's encouraged double on top of it. So he's already getting 2 incentives just to take part in Creator DAO as it is, without the token on top of it. But yeah, like I don't think we should be like selling people that, don't get paid now, you're gonna get paid later when we drop a token. We drop a token when it's it's gonna be ideal and fun and it makes sense, and we have a huge budget and we can just maybe we never drop a token. But I kind of like the idea of having a token. But I do agree with Gabriel in the sense that we don't need a token per se. Like there's no absolute requirement for it because the protocols have money and they're just going to pay us, and we can just use that money to pay the creators, right? Without a token, like the token kind of, the best thing I can think of for the token in my mind is that it's going to allow us to spread the value across the entire DAO. If everybody has bags of tokens and we use the funds, the budget or the payment to buy back the token, then we are raising the value of everybody who's part of this. But we're also raising the value of anybody in the open market who has also bought and held the token. So I do see that as a value down the future. But at the point, at like what Gabriel's saying makes a lot of sense to me, in that at this current point, we just need to make videos, get clients, get our name out there, and pay the people to do the work, and then everybody will be happy, I think.
Hey, okay, another thing. What about pausing clients while we get organized? That was another thing we've kind of talked about. Like, do we need to stop taking on clients for like even a week or 2 weeks at some point? Like soon, or can we handle it? Are we all on board, able to, like, do we feel like we've got a good enough plan that we can take on another 2 or 3 clients, or should we be pausing, or what's the deal?
In my opinion, this comes down to one major factor, and that is, are we completing the required material? Do we have, and that comes down to tracking. How many things do we need to finish to satisfy our agreement with Complify? Did we do it? Did we not? That's the idea. Like, it's all a matter of, do we have enough content creators with enough free time to produce content for more clients? And if that's the case, there might be another client that comes in and the creator that has been like, yeah, I don't really like Complify, I don't know how to do this, or I don't like basket DAO. I don't know how to do this. But then this new one comes in, they're like, oh, this is cool. I know this. I can do this. And then they do it, right? So I think taking more clients, I think we can do it. But it comes down to tracking. Are we completing what we've agreed to complete already?
I think we stand a much better chance if we all just because you carry that skill doesn't mean you're Captain America. Look, I've done the work. Okay. You ever jump on top of a grenade? Yeah, actually, 4 times. Today I'm doing my helmet. Reinforced. Long story.
Crypto influence. We can't hear you. Your mic is very low.
Okay.
He was watching.
Grenade.
Oh.
Oh,
He's watching
okay.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I thought he was talking about how he was jumping on grenades. I was so confused.
That was awesome.
That's the funniest shit I've ever heard.
All right. I think the fact that the tracking thing is such a big deal, and I don't think we have that under control right now. I really don't. I personally feel that we're not organized, and I'm feeling that we don't know if we have delivered enough for Complify. And I think that the fact that we don't have a very solid answer of where we stand, it shows that we shouldn't be taking on too many more clients, right? I don't think it's too difficult to get organized with, tracking this stuff, but this needs to be like the top thing that we focus on this week, organizing what we have already delivered for a client. And again, creating a system that everyone can show. Like, I get we have the Trello, but I don't think that everything is there. Like, not all the information is there inside of that app.
I've tried to do something different and just to test it out. And if you go to the channel of, I think it's Basket DAO work, and you go to the top, this is just a test, right? I was trying to see, no, it isn't Basket DAO. Where was it? Does anybody know? Speak up if they know. Of maybe it was, oh, jeez.
Oh, the poll thing.
Anyhow, clicking on
Oh, yeah.
the little emojis to kind of say, oh, this is done, this is done, this is done. But it doesn't clearly show this video was produced, this Twitter thread was produced, this picture was produced. I think we need to have a person who's willing to step up and just be like project coordinator, we could call him project manager or project coordinator, whatever we want to call that person. But that person's basically collecting and maybe even making a report, in the end, like Complify, look, this is what we did. We did all of these things. As you can see, we overperformed in these different metrics. Thank you so much for your business. If you need more, then feel free to continue. And if we produce a report that says, look at all the things we did produce, then we can then use that in further negotiations to either up the amount of money or retain a client and so forth. So this role is, again, probably what Gabriel was talking about having a DAO fund. We need a person who's willing to do that. It doesn't have to be the only thing he does, but it definitely needs to be done by a single individual who's got his mind wrapped around the entire project's requirements and everybody who's produced content.
Yeah.
I just want to jump in real quick here and say that I don't think that's somebody we have on board here right now. I could be wrong, but I think that perhaps we should consider focusing, finding somebody maybe from outside of what we have right now, to just focus on that, because we have a lot of content creators, we have a lot of idea people here, we have a lot of but we don't. I don't know that we specifically have anybody who has experience doing what you're describing there, Caesar. I think that it would be best, we all know people here, right? It shouldn't be hard for us to find somebody that we can say, hey, man, we don't know exactly what we can offer you at this point, but here's what we're doing, and we're growing, and we really need somebody to kind of take charge of this and help and like be the project manager, right? Basically, like be the project manager, who's like not a content creator really, who's only going to focus on like keeping us organized, right? Like keeping y'all organized. That's just my thoughts.
In the short term, one option, if somebody's willing to eat the cost, and I'm down to volunteer to do that, because really I only think they'll need to do it in this way for about a month. I've seen a lot of companies use Upwork. It's a nice little freelance website, but you can find a part-time project manager or executive assistant. There's a lot of people with incredibly cheap hourly rates and just have them 5 hours a week, managing, staying on top of people, producing that report. At the end of the month, I think that'd be a relatively easy way to get someone, to get started until we do find that person who could fill in permanently. The one problem with that, of course, is that you can't pay them immediately out of the Dow fund. Somebody would have to eat the cost of it, but it'd probably only be like, $150 a month to start.
That's a good idea. I have no experience with like managing that type of person on Upwork. So honestly, I don't know how it would go, but I think you're right, Poopster. Like maybe we don't have that person involved right now. But it's not such a hard job. I mean, it's just someone needs to take on that role. As I imagine it, like some sort of like, I think like Google Drive, just showing like, each project has a project file, a month, and just a breakdown of all the different content we have. And then, of course, at the end of the month, we want to give some sort of reporting. But yeah, just the organization is key.
Have a look at my screen and tell me what you think of what we've got here for Complify.
The thing is that I don't think that we have, like, not all of the information is there, right? Like, it's a fine solution, but it shouldn't be the content creator's job necessarily to upload to the organizational doc. They should just be able to put it into, a folder or a channel or whatever, and then someone can take that information and just organize it very nicely.
Yeah.
Right? Because, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so if is there anyone in this chat now that's produced a piece of content for Complify and they don't see that on my screen right now?
Yeah, I mean, I know that, for example, Lem did 3 more graphics. Right. And they're not there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
So just right off the bat.
So what he's done is he's posted them in Work, right? So then I'm just going to go grab them from Work and just add them.
Yeah. You know what we can do? Sorry.
Can I interrupt for a second? Dunks has got a very good system here, and I think he just needs a push. Now, he's running the website, he's running the Twitter, he's running this. I think he can handle this. I think Dunks just needs a push, and he can just do this. Now, of course, he's going to have to keep working on the website as well. But if we can find some people to take care of the Twitter, and he doesn't have to touch that anymore, he doesn't need to worry about that, I think he can do this if he really sits down and just commits to it. If he promises us that he will do it, I think he can definitely do it. Right, Dunks? Can't you?
Yeah, for Complify, for Complify, wait, am I muted or not?
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, like, for Complify, definitely, and for, like, probably the same for Basket Down and stuff. But, like, I think maybe I reckon there's a couple of people who could also help, like, I know Fugu's been posting in here, like B. Like, there's probably like 2 or 3 or 4 of us that we can just kind of handle that. Like, B, would you help?
How about this? How
Yeah,
about this?
totally.
How about whenever a content creator produces a piece of content, you tell us who to tag. We'll put it into the Discord, into work,
Yep.
and tag somebody.
Yep.
And then you guys just put it in here and keep on top of it and just be like, oh, you know what? We need one more article, guys. Come on. We need an article. And you can just tag like here. You just use @here in one of the channels and say, we need an article. If I know that there's an article that has to be done in the next week, then I might just produce it, right? Or somebody might just step up and be like, okay, we'll get it done.
Here's the thing. Maybe we should just make, for each project, just make a Discord channel that says like completed content, because these channels get very flooded very quickly, right? So if we just had, for each project, we just had a channel that said completed work, and there's no chatting or anything, just the content, I could see how that would be a good solution.
Yeah,
That was my original idea. Like, if you go to the groups, or like a category like Basket DAO, there's Basket DAO chat, Basket DAO work. I had tried to filter it so that people could only post like embedded material and files, but it wouldn't let people to post anything unless they can post messages. So this comes down to educating a creator in the point that don't ask questions inside Worker DAO or inside Basket DAO work. Ask questions in chat. Work is just for posting content, but people start to chat, like they see something and then they get an idea and they just like, oh, this is a good idea, and then well, where did you get that? Like blah blah blah, and then it becomes a flood. So it's kind of like there's no way to turn off like the flood. It has to be the people turn off the flood. You know what I mean?
So what we can do is, instead of calling it work, just call it Complify completed content only, or something like that. So it's much more obvious.
Yeah, that's good.
And
Yeah,
then,
I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, okay. And then if it's completed content only, it'll be much easier for an admin just to be like, okay, chatting, let's just delete it. You know what I mean? And then over time, I think that it will be a much easier flow. Does that make sense?
This makes sense to me. It's an adoption issue then. Like, people just have to know when I complete content, I go to completed work and I post it in there. And then he can use this Trello-based stuff because when you do open Trello, it is a little bit intimidating. There's so many, like, all these little charts, all these little, like, and then you don't even want to spend too much time. So, yeah, I think a simple, I created this video. I know it's good. Boom, But sometimes it's like, yeah, I think I'll make a channel for each project that just says completed work only. And I think hopefully this will solve this problem. But there's another thing I wanted to mention, okay? And this is important for everybody to understand. I've did a thread on this. I did an announcement on this, but I think it's important. If you look at Basket DAO, there's bricks and there's a basket beside Basket DAO. The Basket DAO actual people are in that category. They can see all 3 of those channels: Basket DAO work, Basket DAO chat, and Basket DAO team QA. But they cannot see the other ones. They can't see Complify. They don't know we have Complify channels. They don't know we have Genome's channels. So it's just one thing. Just try to be careful when you guys are posting about things. Don't ask about like Complify inside the Basket DAO channels. It's kind of like walking into a different office. Like, you don't walk into like Apple office and start talking about your work over at IBM or something. Just kind of think of it that way. Like, if I'm in Basket DAO, I should be talking about Basket DAO things. Just a general message.
Okay. Okay, so on the pause clients thing.
So what is the consensus around onboarding new client? I personally think that we should cap it. We have 3 right now. I think 5 for at least the next couple weeks is more than enough. Yeah, like for me, like I think that the demand for this is so high. If we wanted to, we could onboard like 50 clients right away, but I think that's pretty ridiculous. Personally, I just want to feel comfortable that again, we're delivering the content in an organized fashion to our existing clients, and then we can scale it up, no problem. I mean, but if we could shoot ourselves in the foot if we take on too many clients and then we don't deliver, and then we get a bad reputation. So I'd rather do it small and steady rather than trying to jump the gun. And if I think that again, I think it will be very easy for us to get organized. But we need to know exactly okay, for Complify, how much more do we need to deliver? What else do we need in order to make sure that they are satisfied with their result? Again, same thing for Basket DAO, same thing for Gina. What will help with this process is now that we're going to go move to the interview content pyramid model, it's going to be a lot easier for us to deliver. So this is just my thoughts. Of course, yeah.
I'm on the same fence. I'm in the same park as you. I think the key thing right now is not to worry about onboarding new clients, is to make sure we're completed the clients that we currently have. 3 clients, and there's 12 of us. That's a pretty good deal already. I think we might even have bitten off a little bit more than we can chew unless we start hustling a little bit. So I agree completely. We shouldn't be just going hardcore on new clients, get more clients, because it might get us a nice honeypot in the treasury, but then the stream will just stop because nobody will come back and we won't be able to get new clients either. So I agree completely. We should definitely pause and assess where we are now. And if we need just one more thing for Complify, then we can go to Complify and ask them if they want, what is their future plans. It would be much easier to continue to work with Complify than it would be to take on a new client, because we already know Complify well enough that they answer our questions, they pay us, they they retweet our tweets, they accept our memes, they like what we're doing, and then if we take a new client, then all those questions are maybes yet again, right? So we definitely should probably try to retain the same clients we have. And if they don't need us, then that's life, of course. They only need, generally there's pushes, right? They have a push and then they're like, well, we don't need you for maybe 3 months. Then we can look for other clients and so forth. But definitely we have to assess whether or not we are finished what we've started.
I think for Complify, I think if we look at the original package, right? It's I don't know if anyone can see my screen, but 2 to 3 videos, 4 articles, 10 graphics, basically, right? So then what we've got is we've got one really good video from CRX8R, and then we've got kind of 2 maybe 3 articles, and then we've got, I think we've done the graphics overdone. We could say we've got another video if you include the meme video, right? And I did a video too, but I'm not including that one because I think we need one more video probably from maybe Gabriel. But what I was thinking is if we kind of, because we want to sell Complify on next month, if we kind of do Gabriel's video as the pillar piece of content and then use that across the next month, because obviously they're going to have farming and they've got a new options thing coming out. So we could say we've got they've still got 2 videos up their sleeve. one of them maybe from Gabrielle and one of them from someone else. And then maybe we need one more article, is what I'm seeing. Right?
So on the topic here of Complify, I scheduled, after I wrote that, like, the content pyramid structure, I scheduled a interview with Dimitri. He's the CEO, the founder of there. So I guess that will be the video from my end. And then, again, very simply, whoever wants can jump in and write a summary of that conversation. That's going to be the article. And maybe Fugu could grab a couple clips. I think he dumped out, but he will be able to grab a couple clips. And then we'll be good to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we also do a Twitter space with them? So it's a complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
I want you to take the lead on that, though. So reach out to Red, etc., etc.
I'll do that.
Fantastic.
So yeah. So what we can do is either we start with a content pillar. Whenever we take on a client, what we do is first thing we can do is either a long form video, which either you or someone else or even Scissor, if he wants to do it, can do. And then we move on to a Twitter space. So we have a lot of content to play with, right? And then months ahead, like entire 3 weeks ahead, we can chop it down and write stuff and make memes or post short videos.
Absolutely.
So
I think
another.
on this one.
Okay, fantastic.
So that's
That's
basically
a great offering, by the way. I really like that. For the clients to have like some sort of live chat is really amazing.
So basically, that's our strategy for Complify to finish off the month really, really strong and have like 2 pillar pieces of content done and ready to go to create a shit ton of content for next month if they want to keep going, which I'm sure they will. Yeah?
Yeah. Let's do it. And so I think that covers Complify. I feel a little bit better about that. And so for Basket DAO, let's try to implement the same structure. I don't know. I haven't been up to date with what everyone has already done, but I think that we should look to schedule an interview with them. And again, we'll just try to run that process. And again, if we want to do like a Twitter Spaces with them, I think that would be fantastic. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got something else that's on the table here, and that is there's a few of our content creators, and I'm sure you can attest to this, like Fugu is one of them, who produce content for other protocols, and they put it on their own independent channels. And they would hesitate to produce content on their own because it's like, I don't have a following. Why would I produce a video, put it on my YouTube channel? I have 2 followers, my mom and my little sister. So I think we should have a channel, a YouTube channel based on Creator DAO. And not all content has to go there. Like, one of our major selling points is I have, 6,000 subscribers. Gabriel has whatever, 8,000, 7,000, I'm not sure. And that's a big selling point. So we have to maintain that and actually grow that and continue to develop that. But having a place where some people who don't have like a following can still produce content and put it there, and it will still get some traction. I think that's very useful. So I think we kind of need somebody to manage that as well. Like, just produce a YouTube channel, maybe a Medium page where people can submit articles to it. I'm not sure if Medium's the best one, but something like that I think would be useful for certain content creators that have the skills but just have the audience.
I
was using
definitely agree with that. That's my wife, by the way.
What?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Yeah, it is. What was I saying? So I definitely agree with Caesar. We should 100% make our own channel. And I'm thinking that the interviews that I do can go on that channel rather than on my channel, so that we can kind of start to build up, this like a creator cast or something like that. Because we do, as a DAO, need to create content, and Dunks has been doing a good job tweeting stuff like that. But I think that like even this conversation can go up on that site, on that channel, and then we can create clips, and then et cetera, et cetera. So again, just summarize my idea here. The interviews that we do for the creator, I can put that on the creator YouTube, so we can start to develop that a little bit.
One of the things is like also if that creator YouTube produces a video and it's of quality, right? Of course. I know Fugu's done it. I've watched some of his videos. They're good. He's good at it. He can definitely. I pushed him a few times. Create your own channel. Do it. You're good. But maybe maybe he doesn't want to for whatever reason. It's his choice. But if we had him produce a video for there, I would be more than happy to tweet it with my personal accounts, right? So like we can also spread awareness in that way, like just by our own retweeting, our own sharing, and so forth. In this sense, it's not going to look like a shill in any way because it's obvious what's going on. I think for most people who would look at something like that, if I've retweeted that and it's obvious what the situation is, right? It's pretty transparent. And it leads me to my next point, and that is like, I've had a history of not like taking payment for anything, and I've gotten paid, but like always after the fact, like I never like said, hey, made a negotiation for a payment. There's very few. I think I've done 2 in my entire career, and I've been trying to struggle with the idea of whether or not these videos, which are obviously paid, how I can easily show that without being so like in your face, like this is a paid advertisement, blah blah blah, because that kind of sounds bad. You know what I mean? So I was thinking of just like putting a logo inside our content in some levels. Like, should we be putting the creator like Lego block in the bottom corner of a meme? Should we be putting that? Like, obviously, if it comes from the creator Twitter, then it's creator DAO stuff. But if it's coming from my Twitter, should I, tag them? Like, what level should we be doing in this sense? And what is probably the best thing? Because I don't have experience with this. I've always avoided it and just, didn't take money and hope that I got it in the end.
I think it's very important that we be very clear about the sponsorship. In my opinion, if you are making a video, an article, whatever it is, be very upfront that you are taking money for, even if you haven't gotten the money yet. I think that's very, very important. And yeah, well, if you like retweet something from Creator DAO, I don't think that's necessarily needs a disclosure. But if you're posting a piece of content on your Twitter that is paid for by one of our clients, make sure that you state that. I don't think that anyone looks down on. Nobody will look down on you for being honest. They will be upset though if you post stuff and then you're like, oh, you were paid for this the whole time. Like, let's just be upfront. We need to be upfront. And yeah, as far as the Creator DAO, page itself, yeah, we're going to be very obvious that these are our clients. So, people are going to know.
I don't know. Maybe we could get like.
I love the entire discussion. I think this is a very good way to go. And it doesn't affect our personal brands as well. And we are still delivering to all the clients. So this was honestly very enlightening.
maybe we could get Eth Fugu or something to make like a standard like Creator DAO outro or something like that just states like, this is, just whatever it needs to state with a cool like brick and stuff in it, like, or something that we could just give to creators to add to the end of their videos, for example, and maybe we do the same, like a little mini snippet of text that could be added to like the top of an article or to the bottom of a tweet or something.
I don't even think it needs to be that. Like, just, if you're making a video, just say, listen, this is part of the Creator DAO, this is our client, and then jump into the video. That's it. It's just one sentence. Like, it's not a big deal. Just make sure you say it. That's all.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. In a recent, I did a Twitter thread about Complify yesterday or so, and at the very bottom, I put a disclaimer that this is paid content from the Creator DAO, blah blah blah, and I think that's enough. Like, if you want to do it at the start, you want to do it at the end, or somewhere inside. That's up to you. But I do agree that like in a video, I would say at the start. In a Twitter, maybe at the end is fine, right? Like in a Twitter thread, in an article, maybe at the end. I think it depends on the format that you're using at that time. I do want to spend some time and go through the list of people that are in the Discord, because I've given the creator role. There's some people in the creator role that are not here right now, and I don't know who they are. And I've asked and I don't get any answers. So I just want to make sure, does anybody know these people? Okay. So I'm going to call out some of the people who I come across and be like, is this guy a creator? And you just, yeah, I can vouch for him. Okay. This one is Andy. I believe that's
that's DeFi Slate.
DeFi Slate, right? Yeah. Cryptoff is good, right? Oh, who's Eric Ball?
Well, that's the guy that did the remember he worked for a comms agency and he did that review about project management and stuff on the project management channel. He seems like a pretty clued up dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know him from Harvest. He's made quite a few infographics for us. He's really good at that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not just a lurker, right? So okay.
Yeah.
Fugu's good. Who's this Gabriel Haynes guy?
I don't know.
Next one. Yeah. He's wearing a mask and everything. Insider with an A. Do you know? Does anybody know who this person is?
Yeah. He's in the spreadsheet.
But I haven't seen him message a single time. I haven't seen him. I even tagged him once to say, hey, who are you? And nothing. So just, I don't know who he is.
You can boot him, and then if he wants to get back in, we'd add it. If you tagged him.
Well, I'm just going to take away his creator role. Like, he can be in here.
If he wants it back, then he'll just, like, say, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Lem is the guy who's eager to draw pictures. Louvre with a football, a soccer ball. Who's this? He's got a bear as his Louvre. Anybody know this person? No. Okay. Next one.
Wait, Louvre? Crypto Louvre?
Oh, no. Yeah, I've already taken it away.
Wait, the giraffe?
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, the giraffe is...
No, he was a black bear.
Oh.
No, he was a black bear. Nick Hill. Nick Hill. He's got like a turquoise blue like logo here. Anybody know who this guy is?
No.
Is there anyone in here who's not in the spreadsheet?
Before, like,
I don't know.
If you see that there's someone who is a creator, just search their name in the Discord. Like, if they haven't said anything, I think it's pretty safe to take them off. And again, like, if they want to jump in, it's like no problem, right? But there's no reason to have like extra eyes, that are not participating. So just do a quick search. You'll be able to determine very quickly, like, is this person active?
Have
Is
they
it not?
posted or not? Yeah, you can search their name on the search bar and see like if there are any posts or not as well.
Well, there's only 2 left, right? I only got 2 more.
It's
Okay. So, Pive Mihalache. Anybody know this guy? And the last one is QE Forever. Hot new crypto.
Hot new
Yeah, leave
crypto.
him.
Is that you?
Leave
No,
hot new
Okay,
crypto.
okay. So that's it then. No, I thought the person who was talking before you was him. All right. So, yeah,
No, you
that's
could also
all I
leave
got for
the
that.
guy before.
All right. All right. I think that we're close to wrapping up here. Is there anything that anyone wants to bring up?
Oh,
Gus?
just is there any reason anyone in here would have to not be sharing this and try to bring on a couple more creators, or is that something we want to focus on? Like say if we did a tweet that said, "Hey, awesome DeFi creators, blah blah blah, come and join." Like, is there anyone who wouldn't retweet that? Like, for whatever reason, just say like the reason, and we'll try and fix it. You know what I mean?
Let's
I mean, it seems like the more pressing need is a part-time project manager, but more creators, I don't know. Seems like we got the orders done.
Right was volunteering for project managing, right?
Well, we've actually got.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm interested in setting up some office hours and helping people get direction and maintain direction. I think I could be a good fit there because I'm also like fairly technical in crypto too, so I can act as a go-between. And it seems like a lot of. I mean, is this time good for everybody? If I set up hours from like maybe like 11 to 1 p.m. EST. I'm in Michigan. Would that be good for everybody? Is this a good time for most people? This seems like a pretty good turnout.
Yeah. I'm in India and this works very well. Yeah.
This works for me too. This time is not bad. Not every day, but yeah.
So if we schedule this again for next week at the same time, same day, is that good?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do you want to do weekends instead of weekdays?
Well, we could do it for tomorrow instead of today, kind of thing. That would be Saturday, right? For most people, is that right?
Oh, it's Saturday for me right now.
Yeah, me as well. Saturday.
Yeah. So like, can we do it like on a Thursday, Friday?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So how about we schedule it for next week, one day before now? Is that
Yeah. Fridays could be good.
Sure.
Yeah, Fridays are no good for me. I have calls on Fridays. Every
Yeah.
Friday,
What
so.
about Thursday then?
So hey, Thursday. Thursday's okay.
Thursday works.
All right, let's do Thursday then. So, but guys, just remember, like, we've got Basket DAO, we've got Complify, like, finishing this month and probably next month,
Yeah.
hopefully. And then, like, we've also got probably, what, is it like 2 or 3 more clients coming on, right? Like,
So as far as the new clients, like I have a couple calls scheduled, and I'll do the call. If they wanted to onboard, then we'll take them. But I think we should stop the onboarding calls for at least this week. We can reassess maybe next Friday. But we have Chi, which I think would be a fantastic client because as I mentioned, they already do the foundational content. So it will be very easy for us to work off of that. I have another call with some other people, but I don't know again, I have no idea what's going to happen. But I think for right now, we'll leave what we have, but we're not going to add more to the sales funnel if everyone's on board with that.
but we've also got this, the new project that we have signed already, the genome thing, right?
Yeah, we have Genome. So what I like about the Genome is that we're going to be able to start on a very structured pace with them because I pitched them the content pyramid essentially from the get-go, and I've already scheduled a time for an interview. So like what I also like about that is that they are not going to feel like we're not doing work, because once I schedule an interview with them and tell them that's the first piece of content, that's the onus is already on them to, show up to the interview and do it. So it's not like we have to feel pressure to deliver because we've already scheduled a time to get going, which is something that I also like about this structure. So for Genome, we'll do the interview this week, and then it's going to be very easy for us to kind of break that down and deliver.
Right. So it's in a sense, we don't actually necessarily really need to be pushing for more creators right now, because we can probably handle what we've got, and they're probably just going to naturally come to us anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't think we need to push. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, just to add something to this idea. We currently have 10 people online that are creators. We have 31 people online that are just online, and we have 62 people that are offline. That's a lot of people in here already. And look how many of us are actually turned out to this. There are people who probably would have wanted to turn out but can't because of time, right? So I think we have a fair amount of creators, but we just have to make sure, like what we said at the start, just stress the fact, did we deliver? And just let's go slowly, because Gabrielle's bringing out this new format for us, and it sounds great, but we should at least do a test run. And once we go through it and we say, oh, this works really good, or we need to tweak it this way or that way, then we can more easily pitch that same format to every new client. So I don't think we should take on any new clients, and we don't need to tell anybody, hey, come join our Twitter, be a creator, blah, 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 come join our Discord. People will come. There's a lot of people here. There's, I get text message almost every day from somebody, hey, I just joined your creator DAO, and I say, okay, go check out this channel, and if you have any questions, ask me after that. So there's people coming in, they're just coming in. I don't know how they're getting in, but they're getting in already. So I don't think we need to pitch the idea, we need more video makers, we need any of this. Yeah. The only thing I see we are shy on is articles. Does anybody here feel like they would like to try an article, but feel a little intimidated by it? Because I can give a hand. I don't mind proofreading. I don't mind helping out, but I would much rather have help somebody become an article writer than actually write a bunch of articles myself, because I don't enjoy them so much. I don't want to do them. So I'll do them if I have to, but I can help. So if somebody wants to try, give it a try. I'm here to help you in this sense.
Here's the thing with the article. I think that once we do, if we move to this new interview structure, it's going to be super easy for someone, who's even not the best article writer, to take the best points from that conversation and turn it into an article. Mm-hmm. So I'm not too worried about that right now.
Okay. So I'm thinking probably there's 30 creators on this spreadsheet. Probably one thing we want to do is just consolidate down, to make sure that all of these people actually really are going to, contribute, and what they are going to contribute, and kind of have, a catalogue of that, so that we know, what our capacity is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I heard when I first came in, and Fugu was talking about it, and I think we should stress this in in this closing summary, is that you don't have to feel like, oh, Caesar did a video that explains all of, Complify, so I can't do that. No, you can. You can repeat it. You can literally take my video and copy it with your own voice and your own mousing around. There's no problem with that. It will just create more exposure to the protocol, because your audience is not my audience. Now, obviously, you're not going to verbatim me. You're not going to use my script, but there should be no reason why anybody feels like, oh, obviously a picture is different, right? You can't just look at my picture and be like, oh, I'm going to put the kids on the other side of the seesaw. Like, no, it's got to be original in that sense. But the videos, we can produce 5 videos that are all the same, explanation, maybe just different scrambled up order or something. Don't feel like, oh, Caesar already did the video, I can't do it. I think it's totally fine. I think that's an important point.
All right. Also, I have something to ask. Can we limit our discussion to probably one channel? Because it's very hard for someone to keep up with Telegram and Discord. I mean, and Trello. So, I mean, I'm not saying remove Trello. I'm just saying either Discord or Telegram. But again, up to you. Like, what do you guys think?
My idea of this, I prefer this Discord. I like Telegram way more than Discord.
Yes.
Most of my time is spent on Telegram in other capacities, but in this capacity, I really like the organization of this Discord. However, you don't have to consider I think we should make the Discord our main hub, and the Telegram is a side hub that people can use as they please, but don't feel obligated to go to the Discord and actually take part in the Discord or even be in the Discord. Sorry, in the Telegram. In the Telegram, yeah. Discord is Discord's the main hub, and the Telegram's just like another place for other people.
Chill and talk maybe on Telegram, and like all the work stuff, meetings, what we have can be discussed on Discord. I think that would be great.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Close to wrapping up here. If anyone wants to bring up anything, I think for this week, we really our top priority should be organization. I think we're off to a fantastic start. It's amazing how many people we have involved. We already have clients, such a short period of time. But let's get organized and make that a top priority so that we can continue to grow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we've covered a good amount, and yeah, this week and last week have been pretty good. I think we've pumped out a lot of content, and it's all been pretty high quality and caliber and interesting and fun. Yeah, let's just organize, make sure we've completed what we've been asked to complete, and then move on. If anybody has anything else, just speak up now, and then if not, I think we're good.
This is super awesome, guys. I'm stoked to take part in this with y'all. I'm going to set up hours for Monday from 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till 1. And I will try to help anyone find their passion and purpose in the situation. If there's somebody who's great at making, filming content, I can try to connect you with somebody who's great with post-production. I will also gladly highlight anybody in the DAO for what they do best so that we can all have eyes on each other and get an idea of who's best at doing what and how we can direct our efforts towards being most effective. I'm super stoked to take part in this with y'all.
That sounds awesome.
I think I'll try to help you set up maybe a channel for you. That's like, maybe you can kind of be the new creator start here guy, and just be, we'll have that new creator start here, and then afterwards talk to you inside there, like give you a channel, like tell me what you want, like if you want a channel made that's public and everyone can, it's got to be public for everyone to take part in. And you can just organize people how you feel when new people come in. Just when someone comes in, just greet them. Like, hey, how's it going? Did you check this out? Oh, when you're done checking that out, DM me and I'll help you out and get you going. I think this is a very valuable role, and it's important. And yeah, I appreciate it.
I have one more thing to add, and this is a question to Trite and all of you. I think what we should do is after every month, like Gabriel mentioned, that we should do a report and just present that to the client so it looks professional and it looks filling. So, like that's my thought as well.
It's a very nice way to actually ask them, for closure or extension. Like if we give them a report and saying, this is what we produced, here's all the content, I hope you're satisfied. This is a very good way. I'm not sure who's going to have that conversation and so forth, but I think it's very important to have that conversation and have that content organized to show.
Yeah, report and like a little mini pitch for the next month is usually like a good way to go. Like, tell them what we did this month and tell them what we're ready to do next month, and then boom.
Yeah. Right? Is that something you will be able to do? Just compiling whatever.
I don't think that's necessarily his role. I think he's more creator focused than client focused.
I think I could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can also help with those handoffs. As Gabriel said before, there's a huge cognitive load that comes from having to transition from one type of activity to another, and having a person who can kind of juggle all that's kind of where I find my footing, anyways.
Yeah, Dunks has got a lot on your table. You've got a lot on your table. You're pretty active already. So I think maybe you can hand kind of the final like organization over to try to just compile in the end. And then again, I'm not sure who's going to go to the client who's best equipped to do that, or best, who's the best person for that. It's probably not me, but maybe
right now it's probably me right now.
Yeah.
Okay. But I can assist. I mean, I can assist in that. So I'm not really good at making reports, but maybe like just presentation and closing the deal again, or just ending it. That's something I can take up with Gabriel.
Cool.
Dheeraj.
Cool.
Oh, okay, cool. I you asked who.
Okay, I think that's about it. Thanks again for coming. This is really awesome, and let's keep it up.
Oh yeah, and in the general channel, I scheduled the meeting, so RSVP for next week, and you get a reminder.
Okay, good stuff. Well, enjoy the rest of the weekend, guys. Let's get this posted, if whoever recorded this, and yeah. Thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it.
Awesome.